Hello, thank you for joining me at the Wolf Den Workshop today. I was walking around downtown Greenville, South Carolina after church today, and there's a statue of a Native American at the Greenville Water Building. Here is the placard about the statue. It's a water blessing depicting a Cherokee figure thanking the gifts of water. And it's a very beautiful statue, very well done. But the reason I wanted to make this video was to talk about a growing concern I have in society, and the statue symbolized a really good example of what I'm talking about. So I was having a debate with my neighbor, who's an elderly gentleman in his later 60s, and all he does is watch Fox News every day, and he doesn't really view other opinions from different news media, whether that's of the other opinion or just independent media with differing views. So he has a very one-track mind that's devoid of really any critical thinking and any remembrance of history. And we were having a debate on, Israel or Palestine. The tenets of that debate are irrelevant to this conversation. But one of the topics I brought up was that the land he owns was previously owned by the Native Americans, at one capacity or another. And he wouldn't accept that. And his response was, the Native Americans are out west. They're not from this region. Which is, baffling, because the Native American culture is very prevalent in the Carolinas. And, it's sad that this history, whether you like some of the, outcomes, the causes, it's important to maintain that history. One of the tropes of historians is, if you forget history, then the sins of the past, you're doomed to repeat them. And one thing with how technology has evolved so rapidly, people feel disconnected from the times of the past, but they will repeat. The exact manifestations may look different, but they will happen. And we could even have chances to rectify things, make them better, and that's why it's important to have this historical context. And one issue that I see is, as a younger individual myself, cut out there, but as a younger individual myself, we're seeking wisdom, and to respect our elders, I think we would ideally get that wisdom from our elders, because they supposedly have experience and they have their own historical index for things, and they've had their own lived experiences that can be valuable. But if you've ever helped an older person fix their computer, you go and you open it up, it runs slow, everything's just pop up, because their computers are corrupted by viruses from them just clicking on advertisements and, malicious websites. And, you have to go in there and clean that up, and it's always a pain. It's like, come on, what's going on here? And, the brain is just a supercomputer. And, their relationship with technology seems like it's corrupted their brains as well. So I'd argue that they're losing this social equity, and it's a detriment, to themselves as a, means of happiness and, achieving wisdom later in life. But it's a major detriment to those that follow them, because we can't reach out to them and glean any usable information. And I think that's a travesty. I would like to be able to get, a good perspective. It's, my parents, aren't as bad, because, I like to call them up and get their opinions on things or their perspective. But, I worry, like, if there's just the mind virus that's corrupted our society. I don't know if it's in the food or just, the media we consume. It's all broken. And, I don't understand how people can be so disconnected from reality. I've talked to people who are, lifelong Democrats, and, they'll spite everything Trump says, for example. And they'd be like, I could never support any of this. But, if you go back to, let's take an example of trade. If you go back to Richard Nixon's administration, he's a Republican. He was one of the most free trade individuals to hold office. He was the first person to go to China and open trade with China. Very open trade. And the Democrats have historically been isolationists in their trade. And then we get Trump in, who's proposing all these tariffs. He's an isolationist. But you can't talk to people who are older and get a realistic account of policy. It doesn't exist, because they're a VHS tape, and they're recording over everything they've known with what's coming out now. And it's obscene that we have this 24-hour news cycle that doesn't give credence to the past, and people just don't know how to rationalize it. And I think our perspectives are going to have to shift on how we consume media and how we interpret it. I think we need to open up healthy debate a lot more. I have a lot of faith in these long-form podcasts and doing that, because it allows people to really flesh out ideas and to understand each other and to spread some of that context, to question each other, to do research on point while it's happening live. And I think that's good. I think that's a good move in that direction. I think we're seeing a trend in legacy media losing its foothold. MSNBC, they're saying, is going out of business. And I think these are good trends, but I think there's a lot more that needs to happen, especially for our seniors. I'd like to get to a point where I could go up to someone's grandparents and get a meaningful perspective that's not just what I could turn Fox News on and listen to. And I think it'd bring a lot more groundedness to politics, to the world we live in. And I don't know what the solution to that exactly is, but I think what we need to do is to engage them more, ask them challenging questions, really try to get to the root of their historical knowledge, try to steer them away from hyperbolic talking points that someone like Sean Hannity or Rush Limbaugh might say, and trying to get their genuine perspective. I found you really have to pull it out of them sometimes, but it can be useful. Okay, guys. Well, thanks for listening to this ramblings. If you have any unique perspectives on this topic, please put them down in the comments below. As always, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you want to get notified of this content when it gets released, and be sure to share it if you find it useful. I'd like to spread the word and get some of these issues addressed on a more personal level. All right, thank you, everyone. Bye.